Good morning, friends. Again, I am before you with another video on one of the landmark judgment which is in the syllabus of Advocate on Record examination of the Supreme Court of India. This case lies Vishakha, Vishakha versus State of Rajasthan, 1997. This case is popularly known as Vishakha Guidelines. This is landmark Supreme Court judgment that addressed the issues of sexual harassment in the workplace. The case emerged after a female social worker named Vishakha filed a petition before the Supreme Court as one of the worker named Banwari Devi was gang raped in Rajasthan, and the case was highlighted due to the absence of specific laws to protect women from sexual harassment at the workplace. So this case was filed by Vishakha and other women workers through petition before the Honorable Supreme Court, alleging that the state has failed to protect women from sexual harassment at the workplace. The petition highlighted that despite several instances of sexual violence, there was no law or comprehensive policy addressing sexual harassment in professional settings. The primary legal issue was the lack of specific laws to address sexual harassment at the workplace and the question of whether existing constitutional provisions could provide adequate protection to the women from such offences. Honorable Supreme Court gave judgment. It recognized the need for a clear framework to prevent sexual harassment at the workplace, established guidelines and norms which were now popularly known as Vishakha Guidelines. The code defined sexual harassment includes unwelcome sexual advances, request for sexual favors, verbal or physical conduct of a sexual nature, or any other conduct that creates a hostile, intimidating environment. Then it put employer's responsibility. The court emphasized that employers must create an environment free of sexual harassment and establish mechanism for prevention and redressal. Then there was internal complaints committee. Directions were to create internal complaints committee. The court made it mandatory that all workplaces should have a complaints committee to address grievances related to sexual harassment. And it also stressed for confidentially. The complaint procedure should be confidential to protect the identity and dignity of the complainant. It also directed that there should be awareness. Employers were required to sensitize employees about sexual harassment, its consequences, and mechanism for reporting. These guidelines lay down the groundwork for the sexual harassment of women at Workplace Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act 2013, which formalized the legal framework for handling sexual harassment at workplaces. So, coming to the significance of the judgment, this Vishakha case, we can say, was a turning point in the Indian law, as it was the first judicial attempt to protect women from sexual harassment at workplace. The judgment addressed a critical gap in the legal system, laying the foundation for later legislation. It also marked the beginning of the broader discussions about gender equality and the need for workplace reforms to ensure women's safety. In conclusion, I would say that Vishakha versus State of Rajasthan case was crucial in recognizing sexual harassment as the violation of women's rights under Article 14, which talks about right to equality, and Article 21 of the Indian Constitution, which talks about right to life and personal liberty. It underscored the need for legal measures and institutional mechanisms to ensure a safe and dignified environment for women in the workplace. That's all. See you again in the next video. That will also be on the syllabus of the Advocate on Record examination of the Supreme Court of India. Be in touch with me and subscribe this channel so that you may get notification in time. I promise you to cover all the case laws which are in the syllabus of the Advocate on Record before 31st March of this year, that is 2025, so that you have good time to revise your syllabus. That's all. God bless you all.